for most men, I feel like they know there's a minimum expectation they have to meet. And I think for a lot of women, there's a minimum they're willing to do. Or a maximum they're willing to do. Like I always say, would you do for him what you expect him to do for you, or vice versa? If you made 100,000 and he made 50,000, are you willing to? And if his bills could pay the majority of the stuff, are you willing to say, okay, baby, you only pay 20%, now I'll pay the other 80%? What up? It's Three Brothers No Sense. I am Tavares Ferguson, a.k.a. Ferg, sitting here watching my co-host Buff drink him a nice brew and Razi ponder the meaning of life. Fellas, tell them what's on your mind.
Since I know Razi is going to probably talk about Justice League and Falcon Winter Soldier, I just want to mention Hip Hop Uncovered, which was on FX, and you can watch it on Hulu. Very dope show. I think it's about 6 episodes, man. It talks about the people behind the artists, like the street people, like you heard the Supreme Team, Haitian Jack, Big U, Trick, Deb, who was like on the season of, I think, Love and Hip Hop or something like that. But it's cool. It's funny to me, too, because they got Dr. Dre on there. And you know how they usually, like, give their title at the bottom of their name as they're talking? His title was Professional Winner. Like, not producer or rather professional. Like, he just won at life, I guess. So, but it's real cool, man. Like, Trick literally stopped a Rick Ross concert. And I don't mean like, blocked his Suburban on some street. Like, he literally blocked him from the venue, went on stage with the mic and told the crowd, hey, sorry, Rick Ross didn't check in with me, so he won't be performing tonight. Now, I had heard about this kind of stuff with him, but like to see it, that's crazy, man. It's like he got that much pull. But last thing I'll say is if you're a fanatic of certain artists, you may not want to watch it. Like I used to be a Tupac fanatic. I've calmed down a bit, but some of the things they say about these artists are not too flattering. Like Haitian Jack said pretty much that, Madonna chose him over Tupac. Big U had to tighten Nipsey Hussle up one time because he took his own equipment back. Nip got mad about it, wrote a diss song about him. And Big U, who was like in the Crips, served time, sold drugs, he was like, I had to talk to him. So he pulled up on him and they had a little chat. So, but it's a good show, man. Check it out. Only 6 episodes.
Sounds dope. So under your screen right now, what would it say, Buff?
What would it say?
What about you, Razi? What are you thinking?
I want to steal the Professional Winner thing.
I know, right? That was so dope, man. Like, not even amateur winner, professional.
Yeah. I'll say coolest nerd you'll ever meet. That's my title.
That's you.
Okay. What about you, Buff? Little evil,
know, man.
Not all the way evil. Kind of evil.
There you go.
Used to be evil.
Former evil.
the artist formerly known as Little Evil.
The Parasite Boy. That's an inside joke, folks.
Oh man, hilarious, fellas.
Hey man, I don't have a whole lot. I'm gonna hold off. I haven't seen Justice League yet. Haven't had a chance to watch it. Busy day today. So I'll probably stay up tonight and watch that. I am hearing really, really good things about it, so I'm excited about that. Definitely excited about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But on a more serious note, I want to just real quick moment of silence to the 8 people that lost their life in Atlanta. And now I want to talk through the terrorists that are out there. Our previous guest, Officer Dunn, talked about it. He was on Don Lemon tonight. Shout out to him for that. And he talked about that.
So this terrorist you're talking about. So if I understood correctly, he went to 3 different places and shot 8 people. So he was just going all around. So he is armed and dangerous, correct?
Yeah. Armed, dangerous, and they got him. Yeah, they apprehended him, no problems. And then on top of that, he didn't even have diabetes. Like, it's crazy. Like, he was just having a bad day. So now it's like diabetes caused racism and just having bad days caused racism.
Sex addict. He was a sex addict. Remember?
Oh, sex addict. Sex addiction. Sex addiction causes racism. Diabetes causes racism. Oh, and not forget just not liking the VP because, I'm going to hang outside of her house and get arrested with a whole bunch of ammo and guns as well. So
one time for
just
Texas.
Racism is rampant. Oh yeah, he's from Texas, right? Yeah. So
man, we are giving Florida. Crazy, we are giving Florida a run for their money.
Yeah, but I liken it. Everybody talks about the Jim Crow era. I really feel like in hindsight, 20 years from now, they're going to start talking. They're going to have like this Donald Trump era. And it's going to be an era of this inability to be around people and just, I don't even know how to describe it, man. It's so disheartening how much intolerance and hate is out there and being shown and presented. Asian American rights, Black rights, African American rights, whatever you want to call it, women's rights, like the women to just exist in some people's eyes is appalling. It's crazy. Like how can you just hate me for existing? And I'm tired of it, man. I'm tired of the disenfranchisement. I'm tired of, everybody just kind of coming and not wanting people to participate in democracy. It's been a tiring week for all of this. I just had to get that off my chest. I'm sorry.
Yeah, all this is crazy as usual. It's another week in America. I mean, it's like every week is something different. It's something to be disgusted with. It's something to just make you scratch your head and question humanity. It's like, how did we get here? But yet it's still, we have to just, and the way the old folks say, just keep on keeping on. So it's tough. Did you guys catch This Is Us this week?
I did.
Yes.
I did. I liked it. It was, I felt it because the whole mother-in-law type thing, I definitely felt it. But it was funny. It was a really good episode though.
Yeah. I as usual, I love it. I know Byron was getting upset because they'll go a few weeks without having an episode. Yeah. And so it's been tough, but I really felt it. I think it was a great episode. For one, it was the first time I've seen Beth kind of lose her cool. Like, I've never really seen her shook like that. Like the way she just, kind of snapped. I was taken aback. It was also the funny thing is people compare me to Randall so much. And what's funny about Randall is he's living almost my worst nightmare. I always feared because every girl I ever dated was either the only child or had all sisters. And when I met their dad, there was a certain level of just defeat that he presented. And I'm like, man, that's a lot of women in that house. And you about to add Claire Huxtable. I'm ashamed what happened to Randall. Yeah, but I don't have much, man. We're going to get into it. Is my young goddaughter there to give us a beautiful joke, or are we blessed with you today?
Yay, good. That's how you, but she's actually here today. So hold on, let me go grab it.
Yes. I think his mic I don't think he heard me.
I definitely think he heard you.
Oh, I tried to wait. Hey, hello there, Sophie.
Hey.
How have you been?
Good.
I missed you. I didn't see you last week.
Because, where was I? I don't know where it was.
Autumn's house.
I was at Autumn's house.
So you went someplace again without inviting me?
I don't know.
Sophie, this is getting old. I feel like we go through this every week. You go out and you haven't invited me one place. We've been on this podcast for about 2.5 years, Sophie. You haven't invited me to hang out with you once. I'm not going to bring it up, but I'm just saying. But the way you can make it up is give us a good joke today, Sophie.
Okay, I know how to do that.
Yeah.
I got the joke. So, what did the daddy ghost tell to the baby ghost when he did something good?
Boo-hoo? No.
That would have been my guess.
Great job, Dad. Spot on. I got nothing, Sophie.
Okay. That's the spirit.
Are you close?
That was a good one. That was a good one. That was a good one. I like that. Yeah. See, Rosie, that's how it's done. See, Rosie, that's how it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're getting better, bro. If you study under Sophie a couple of more years, you know, you too might make us laugh.
Yeah. I say this week, the fries. This week, mopping floors. Next week is the fries.
Yeah, bro. So you start with the lettuce. All righty. Well, I'm going to keep the party going. So, Buff, you gave us a question first last week, right?
Yes, sir.
Rosie, take it away.
I don't got my question yet. Hold on.
Oh.
Okay, yeah. Well, we can talk through this one real quick. So you guys know Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We just got out of WandaVision and everything. So I saw a video of Kev on stage saying that Disney is overrated. And I wanted you guys' take on if Disney as a company is overrated. We can talk specifically about the MCU if you want to. But is it really overrated, or how do you feel about that?
Like Disney World and the shows and movies they do, like
Disney in general, just Disney being overrated.
No.
So the movies, the theme parks, the everything.
Well, I don't know about overrated. I know the theme parks are overpriced, but I mean that's everything down there in Orlando. I think all of this stuff is overpriced, but overrated, no. I mean, if you think about Disney as an entire company, Hulu, ESPN, and now with Disney Plus, Marvel under the umbrella, National Geographic, you have to be a fool. Sorry, Kev, on stage. You have to be a fool to call it overrated. Now, the majority of the TV shows I don't watch. So if he's talking about that kind of stuff, I mean, yeah, but it's not geared towards me. It's geared towards young people and kids. So, and they watch it. I don't think it's, you know how I know it's not overrated? It's literally like a term we use in our everyday culture. Like when we think of fairy tales and things like that, Disney is what comes to mind. You think about fun theme parks, that's like the pinnacle of fun theme parks. You got your Six Flags and your other theme parks, but Disney World is like top. So I would have to hear a very compelling argument for why it's overrated, because overpriced, yes. Overrated, I don't think so.
Well, you're not about to get that argument here, because there is nothing about Disney as a whole being over. It can't be. It just does too much. Like Disney is like Disney. You know what I would think? If Disney came out with a futuristic movie next year and Disney was a political party, I would understand it. Disney has that much power. Disney is involved in everything. Like it's the followers of Disney. Like I could see Disney becoming a religion. Like there's so much. They have their fingers in everything. He's like, you mean the theme parks? Oh, do you mean ESPN?
Right.
Do you mean Hulu? Do you mean the MCU? Do you mean the merchandising?
ABC? I forgot ABC.
Like, what? Disney could rule the world. It is that powerful. I could see a movie where they portray Disney as the overlord of society. Like Disney may be too powerful. Like I could really see that. To me, to hate on Disney is like, and I hate bringing this up, it's almost like hating on LeBron. It's you're looking for something to complain about. Disney World is the happiest place on earth. Whether you agree with it or not, they have that title. You know why Six Flags isn't the happiest place on earth? Because it's only in the United States. You remember Disney World, Euro Disney? We passed by there when we were in Paris. You passed by Euro Six Flags?
No.
I mean, it's crazy. All Disney has to do is buy McDonald's, and then the world is over.
Didn't they just buy Fox?
Huh?
They bought Fox, right? Don't they own Fox now?
Fox movies or whatever, Fox Studios or whatever.
That's step one.
No, I think it's all of, like most of Fox, because didn't The Simpsons come too?
Yeah, The Simpsons came.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Yep.
So yeah, but I agree that I don't think Disney as a company is overrated. I can say some Disney movies are overrated.
Oh hell yeah, they got some misses now.
Yeah, they have some misses, but when you talk about it as an entity, for the overarching, it's way more wins than they had losses. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's way more good movies than they did. Like
Disney doesn't lose. That's a mulligan, sir.
Hey, Fern. What does the Super Bowl MVP say? Where is he going? Is he going to Six Flags?
No, not going to Six Flags. Guess where he's not?
Is he going to SeaWorld?
No. You tell me where he's going.
Yeah, he's going to Disney World.
Exactly.
That's where he's going.
Exactly. They might not even go to the White House anymore. They're going to Disney. Dude, like how Disney has too much power. Yeah.
With that, because I remember being excited about their like 2021-22 lines with all of the stuff that they had coming out between the MCU, Pixar is under them as well, right? Like they have so much stuff under them. It's even if it is a sucky movie, I don't care. I'm probably still gonna watch it because it's a Disney movie. Because I know the soundtrack's gonna be fire. I know the animation is going to be on point. Even if they take a stylized version of it, the animation is going to be on point. And the storyline is going to at least make sense. It might be boring. It might not be for me, but it's going to make sense. There are movies that have plot holes. Like they just don't work. I mean, it's so much that goes wrong with them. And so I'm good with that. And then when you talk about the MCU, the thing about it is I like how the MCU has a clear vision for all of their movies. Like everybody's talked about, the shared world and their cookie cutter and all this and that. I'm like, no, it's called a vision. It's called a clear vision for what you want the shared continuity to be. And you can build on top of it. You don't have to rewrite the first act of every movie. Doesn't have to be, let me introduce the character and set the stage. Like, you could just walk in and boom, I know everything about what's going on. Let's continue this movie. It is very much a sequel each time.
Ask the city of Orlando, is Disney overrated? It's literally an economy there. Like, period. Like there really is no other reason to go to Orlando.
So you don't like Universal Studios?
I mean, they're basically, I don't know who was there first, but I think they came after Disney. Yeah.
Disney was there first, yeah.
Yeah, why not build? Worst case scenario, you got to go to Universal Studios. That's their thought process. Worst case scenario,
tickets?
It's like it's like Universal Studios. It's like for people who've already been to Disney, now you can come here. Like,
you know, it's. But man, there's so many ways. What we're talking about is Disney now. Think about the future of Disney. Razi, would you go to a MCU world in 2030 if they built an MCU land? They can have
definitely.
a whole. They can have a whole.
Star Wars Land just opened. I'm trying to get back so I can go to Star Wars Land.
Oh, we forgot about Star Wars.
I heard the lines are like outrageous for that.
Well, they could create a whole theme park around the MCU, a whole experience around the MCU.
Yeah,
the Disney cruise. Not to mention the cruise lines. They have 4 different ships on the cruise lines.
Overrated. So let's go. Just overrated. Come on. Let's just keep the party going. Dude, I might go buy me some Disney today.
Buy some Disney stock. That's what y'all need to go get.
Oh, I got some.
Yeah. So that's all, man. I just real quick question. I had to get it off my chest about that. So because I love Disney and I didn't appreciate the slander.
I mean,
DC or Marvel, Razi?
He gonna say DC.
He's gonna say DC. He's gonna give a. That's what I was saying. It's not gonna be
nuance, right? Nuance. Yeah, there it is. So MCU for the movies and even their live action TV series, but DC's kind of coming back on that. DC for their animated and DC for their comic world. DC comics are actually better to me.
And
they're more grounded a little bit.
You prefer their storyline?
Yeah.
Okay. We've been having this debate for about 20 years. So, and by the way, you know what's overrated? The X-Men cartoon.
Whoa.
Yeah, I said it.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Talking about that?
Yeah. Go back and watch it.
No.
Go back and watch it.
Wow.
Go back and watch it.
It did not age well.
It did not age well at all.
It did not age well.
I was heartbroken on Saturday when I came in at 9:05 and I missed 5 minutes of the show or something like that. Dude, it's I have it on in the background while I'm working and it's hard. I look back and like, wow, go look at Professor X.
I can't stand Professor X.
So
I'm not gonna do that. Yeah.
Byron,
Professor X, it depends on what iteration, man.
Yeah.
So, he has some good ones and some bad ones.
All right. Yeah. Well, the movies made me hate him. So.
Oh yeah. But the movies in general, man. I'm actually excited about the movies coming back though. Like inside of the MCU. Like the mutants inside of the MCU are gonna be pretty awesome. I want to see Storm marry Black Panther if we get a Black Panther recasted finally at some point. I want to see the X-Men versus Avengers. I want to see the Phoenix Saga and make it actually go to space like they did in the cartoon, and be a galactic, like, over the top type thing. I want to see all of that, man.
I'm just ready for young Justice. That's all I want to see.
Yeah.
Buff, what you got for us?
Okay. All righty. So I'm gonna read a quote and then ask my question. And the quote is from Emmanuel Alcho. I think I said his last name right. Former linebacker. He hosts The Bachelor. He also has a book and a YouTube show called Uncomfortable Conversations with a Black Man. But his quote is, I walk around realizing I might be the only Black man that this person comes in contact with today. So let me do my best job to adequately represent Black men across the country. Do you guys ever feel that type of pressure to where, because we've talked about code switching, and that's kind of like, what you do at work, what you do to get the job, stuff like that. But everyday interaction out in public, do you ever feel pressure to carry yourself a certain way because you may be the only interaction that this white person or someone else may have, and you want to represent all Black people and give off a great impression for them to have?
Well, I try to get off a good impression anyway. Like, I think I try to carry myself in a way that I would be proud to see me. Like, if I was watching me from afar, I'll say 95% of the time. Some 5% of the time I just be ignorant, so it just don't matter. But, that's my goal. And because I know I don't feel obligated, and I also don't feel like I'm trying to appease other people. But I do feel like I do represent our culture, and as this is going to sound very arrogant, as I feel like as one of our, I guess, elite. Sometimes you have to showcase yourself. You have to showcase what we have. Showcase the best of what we have. I know I do it for work all the time. In society, but I also like making them uncomfortable. Like right now, I got my black T-shirt on, black with it says black and it's the continent of Africa on it. And I wore it to the orthodontist today, and like I try to represent everywhere I go, but I don't try to. I guess I got to figure out what he wants to represent.
So but you never feel like pressure that I'm representing Black men all across this country, so let me put my best foot forward. It's more or less you just want to represent Ferg the best way you can.
Yes, because I think Ferg is a representation of Black men and the best of what we have. But my question to him is, what is he trying to represent? Is he shucking and jiving? Like I'm gonna go in there. Like I'm not scared. I'm not afraid to debate, but intelligently debate. I'm not gonna sit there and argue with a contractor or argue with somebody, a manager at a restaurant, and be trying to sound ignorant and scary. I'm gonna let you know that you picked the right one to talk to today. I'm not putting on my white voice. I'm putting on my educated Black voice. And I guess that's my thing is like, I'm not trying to act white. I'm not trying to make you feel comfortable because I'm more like that person. I want you to see what Black excellence looks like. I guess that if that makes sense. If not, then.
Yeah. No, I think it does. I'm kind of that same way. I have felt that pressure of, I represent the Black community, right? Plenty of times when you're going into work things, social interactions, charity events, things like that. Because I may be the one of 3 or 4 or 5 in the entire building or in the entire event. So I feel that pressure, but at the same time, like Ferg says, I'm still going to be me. Like, I don't feel like I need to turn it on to represent. It's I'm going to be me, and I'm going to show that Black excellence no matter where I'm at. I feel that pressure to be that excellent or show that excellence when I'm mentoring a bunch of Black kids, the same way that I feel that pressure to be that Black excellence when I'm in front of all those white people. So it really doesn't matter to me who I'm interacting with. I want to show Black excellence. But yeah, I mean that pressure is always on, right? We talked about it in the tipping episode of I can't not leave a tip because of the stereotype of Black people not leaving the tip, those types of things like that. So it comes and goes when you talk about, do you feel the weight and the pressure? Now how much weight and how much pressure you feel is going to be based on the situation, right? If it's I'm the only Black person at this firm, and so yes, I feel that weight a lot more than random white guy on the street that I'm passing. Like that interaction doesn't really matter to me. I don't feel the need to represent the Black race to this random guy I'm passing on the street. Like I just don't.
I'm going to use my answer to ask a follow-up question that just came to my mind when you guys were talking, because Rosie, I actually was going to use that exact example of the tipping episode on how I do feel pressure. That's one of the reasons I started tipping, because it's like, I don't want to be another, I want to let them know, hey, Black people do tip. But my follow-up question is, have you ever watched like remember Flavor of Love was out, Flavor Flav, Soul Plane, stuff, let's just say shucking and jiving type entertainment. Have you ever looked at that type of stuff? Or not even entertainment, but maybe a news story? You know how we said we'll see something, we be like, hope he ain't Black, hope he ain't Black. Do y'all subscribe to that? Man, they're going to make all Black people look bad. saying that goes around. Do you guys subscribe to that, or do you push back on that and say, hey, look, one white person doesn't make all white people look bad. They don't worry about it when they have stupid movies like Dude, Where's My Car? Or some of the celebrities you see acting ignorant. They don't worry about that, so we shouldn't either. Like, where are you guys on that?
Yes, that gets under my skin. I think we had a debate about this at one point in time when during Wendell's wedding about about perception. Yeah. And you guys almost for the most part were kind of calling me a Republican. You're like, it's not upon them to shape your image or shape your vision of them. But I do feel that way. Like recently, I was saying a few months ago, we went out to the paintball with my lamplighters, and there was one young black man who's out there who kind of sparked everything that I talked about in that episode. But he was that loud kid that I was like, man, I wish I had a chance to mentor him, because he was a reason that he is one of the reasons that white people have this image of black people, young black men, or they fear them. And then when he got into it with a white guy, his chest was pumped up. He was talking, it was like, but I got it. That's how he grew up. That's how he was raised. That for him, that might have been the norm. And so when I went over there to talk to the managers and the workers and even the people he was arguing with, I know I couldn't come with that same vibrato. I needed to come with, look, I'm solution oriented. I'm intelligent. If you were ever going to show out or try to get over on this black guy, you got the right one to be here to talk to you about him. Because at the end of the day, if we wouldn't have been there, it would have been, he was the perfect scapegoat. He was a perfect, I feared for my life. He threatened me. He threatened my kids. And all those white people there saw this tall, young, loud, aggressive black man, and anything that would have happened to him would have been justified. Like we literally were saying, I could see if we wouldn't have, I'm almost positive if we wouldn't have been there, the police would have been called and he would have went to jail at best. I mean, because you got to think the type people around, the average person's not going around playing paintball and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure this was Texas. One of them had a concealed carry. Almost guarantee. If something would have happened, they would have been there. So I feel when I see things like that, I'm like, man, we got to do a better way, because I'm sitting there, this one young man to them looks no different from the other 15 young men I had with me. So their next interaction with a young black man is the only young black man I'm around based off my last interaction. When I'm not there, or Razi's not there, or Buff's not there to intervene and be calmer heads, how does this play out? And I hate it that way. It's not fair, because like you said, you can be white and go around and shoot 8 people at 3 different locations and be apprehended safely. I hate seeing that. That's the far end of it, but also like the flavor of love. That's why you asked about certain shows. I don't watch a lot of shows. I don't like shows that portray us in a negative light. Maybe I'm too critical. It's not even that I'm judging. I just hate seeing us perpetuate stereotypes or perpetuate negative black images when there's so much good that we do. Like there's not enough highlighting of all the Razzies and Buffs in the world. There's not enough highlighting of the young men I mentor, or some of the young men that I mentor that are making small leaps and bounds, small progress, which is huge. We don't get enough of that, but we'll subscribe to any World Star video, any OnlyFans, and like I hate seeing us that way. And I'm not, I don't judge it. I just hate. I feel like we don't get proper representation. So
I don't mind it, mainly because there are a lot of positive representations out there too, and I feel like we have to get past the using the caricatures to paint broad strokes on Black people. Because there are just as many negative portrayals of white people in the media and everything. Like Byron talked about, those kind of quirky type movies and all of that, Dude, Where's My Car? All those. There's plenty of those. What was the show with the guys like beat each other, like hit each other in the balls and stuff like that on MTV?
Jackass.
Yeah, Jackass. Like there's shows like that all the time. I mean, so they have shows like that too. The issue comes in that when we see them, people will look at them and they want to paint all Black people that because we didn't have that positive representation up until a few years ago. And so I don't want to cut a whole genre out of content creators, comedians, actors and stuff like that because, we don't want to make that type of show anymore because of the negative stereotypes. What I want to see is better representation on the positive aspects. So like I said, I don't mind the kind of, shucking and jiving and playing those caricatures because we know people like that. Like let's not act like we don't know people just like that because it wouldn't be funny to us if it didn't hit home. Like, oh, that's Uncle Ray Ray. Like, yeah, you see them in that.
I get that, but they'll go see an Uncle Ray Ray movie, but they're not going to go see a Rozzy movie because of representation.
But they do though. They're starting to.
I don't think we have. I don't think we have enough.
We don't have enough, but when you think about percentages wise, we have about 13-14% of that population now. We're starting to get there.
I'm talking about our movies. I'm not talking about Against the World. I'm just talking about.
What do you mean our movies?
So if you have a movie with a Black lead or a Black movie, I don't think the majority give good representation. Even what I talked about, you remember what I talked about, like a lot of our movies talk about struggle, love, and stuff like that. So that's a whole nother, I'm not going down the rabbit hole. So
yeah, we'll go down that one because like I said, it's a genre. It's another genre. Like that is drama. And so we have like your Moonlights of the world, and you have other shows that are more positive and go down that route. But it's still drama. It's still you still need some tension in it to make the plot go along.
I actively fight against that pressure because of what I said, that no other race feels that pressure. And Asian people have been portrayed as all knowing kung fu or some type of martial arts. But when I come across one, I don't automatically assume that's what they do. I don't automatically assume Jamaicans smoke weed. It's not so. I feel like being a Black man.
But I'm sorry to cut you off. That's because you're not racist.
And that's what I was going to say.
Racists do. Yeah. Racists do, though.
And they feel that. It's not my job to change their mind. It's enough pressure just being a Black man in this country. Worried about being shot, discriminated against. I'm not here to try to change your mind. If that's what you want to think, that's on you. You need to get more Black friends, better Black friends, be around a more diverse population. And, just to go deep with it, is why we need to learn more about Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks in school. Because, the good Black people was so long ago, now there are none. But we have plenty of history-making trailblazers right now in the present that we could be learning about. And I think that would help in some of these people who form these opinions prematurely. But I do actively fight against it, man, and appreciate y'all entertaining that question, man, because when I read that quote from him, that came to mind.
Yeah, one of those positive role models is Senator Raphael Warnock, right? That did you get a chance to listen to that speech?
I did not, man. I still have it on the group me though, but I'm gonna check it out. But I heard the floor. I was outside the chamber and I heard them clapping when he was done, man. So I can't wait to listen to it.
Yeah, you could tell he's a preacher. He had that. I thought he was about to start hooping.
That brother is a serious dude too, man. Like, man, I see why he won that election, man. And I'm just happy that he's in the Senate.
Yeah.
Well, all right, fellas, that was a good question. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have some people upset with me as usual, but they haven't been pissed off at me in a while. So we're going to keep the party going. So I saw this post about 3 days ago on Facebook. So I want to know, do you think this is true? And your thoughts on the overall comment. It goes, is this a fact? When a man earns money, he dreams of giving his woman the world. Not going down that route. That's kind of. But when a woman earns money, she feels she does not need a man. Thoughts?
What is it? INDEPENDENT. Do you know what that means?
That boy did that. That boy did that.
Told you, right?
Oh man,
I'm a ratchet. I'm definitely a ratchet.
So you gave an answer that'll make the listeners hate you. Now you ask a question so that we can join in and get hated on too. Is that your goal?
I just
sir?
speak your truth. I think let's go. Let's see where you guys go with it. Because
so
I don't
man makes money. He dreams about giving the woman the world. Right?
And maybe that's far fetched, but
no. But I get the
gist of it.
Rozzy, you want to go first?
I'll go. I guess. It depends on the man, for one, whether he dreams of giving her the world, or does he want to use that money to give himself the world, meaning multiple women, riding around, doing his thing. So every man doesn't dream of giving a woman the world. So that's a falsehood in itself on the front end. But even on the back end, I feel like a lot of women do think that they are independent. They don't think they need a man. And the issue comes down to needing a man monetarily does not mean that you don't need a spouse or somebody to be in a relationship with. And so that whole quote, it only looks at the money part of it, meaning that she doesn't need a man because she makes money. The problem is there's a lot of lonely women making money right now.
They choose to be single, Rozzy.
No. They're lonely. There's plenty of, especially in our age group, there's plenty of women that are in their 40s that will tell you they want a man, even though they're successful in their job, they're doing well in their career, they're making money or whatever. And that's one of the first things they say is, I want a man, I want a relationship, because they want to be loved. So I don't think that they feel like they don't need a man. They feel like they don't need to lean on a man's money. The problem with them not being able to find a man is they still want that man to take care of them. The women feel like they don't need a man monetarily, but then on the flip side, they won't go get a man that needs them monetarily. That's the issue. It's like, oh, I'm not going to take care of a man. I'm not, but it would be on the flip side. If a man was taking care of a woman, there's no question about it. No big deal. But as soon as a woman who's making successful, she's a doctor or something like that, she's like, no, I'm not taking care of a man. Well, I mean, maybe there's a guy who will love you, will take care of your house, will do everything, fill all the gaps that you need filled. That will be perfect for you. That makes $30,000 a year, but you feel like you're taking care of him because you outperform him or you make more money than him. He's not in your station in life, so you feel like he's beneath you. That's the problem. So I don't agree with the quote so much as there, but the underlying intent of the quote I do agree with, if that makes sense.
The quote is true. You can go ahead and answer for it.
Nothing else, bro?
I mean, Rozzy said not all men. Yeah, nothing is absolute. And I don't want to get into percentages, but it can be something as small as 51%. All I know is that I feel like the majority of men feel that way, or some variation of that quote, and the majority of women that make that type of money feel that way, or like Rozzy said when he added his nuance, they're going to want a man that makes, if not as much, close to it. They're not going to want to feel like, quote, they're taking care of some grown-ass man. So I agree with the quote. Come at me, bro, if y'all want to, but that's just, you asked the question, that's how I feel. Yeah.
So you guys are funny. I didn't think it was going to go this way, but I agree with Rozzy. I don't agree with the whole, men want to give women the world, but I understand I agree with the underlying point of the quote. So I feel like let's take out the sorry part of the guys and the sorry part of the women. The guys that just want to dog women out and just use their money to throw around or whatever the case may be, or the guys that just want women to take care of them. Them sorry ass niggas. And the women that just want niggas to take care of them all out. Because, Ryza, you mentioned that a lot of women want guys to take care of them. I get it. What I'm talking about is I think that average, the rest of the bell curve, the average and the above average. So I think those people who we're talking to, because those are our listeners, the educated upper echelon of society. I think for the most part, guys might necessarily want to give their woman the world, but there's an expectation that you have to meet certain standards. Worst case scenario, I got to meet you 50-50. Like if you make 50,000, I make 50,000 and I comes out to 80,000, I can't give, you always say that, like if guy made 70,000 and a woman made if they both made 50,000, who's supposed to take care of all the bills? Is it 50-50 or what? I feel like there's
what did the quote say again? What was the original quote?
That when a man earns money, he dreams of giving his woman the world. But when a woman earns money, she feels she does not need a man.
Okay, so I took that as a man that earns significant, like $50,000.
Yeah.
He can't feel that way. She can't feel that way. I'm talking about men that make $250,000 or more.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. What I'm just saying, that's why I'm saying that the average person, because I feel like when we're looking at it, because this is where I'm going to go with it, is if you make 50,000, I make 50,000, I feel like, that what's mine is yours, what's yours is mine. I don't think it's equal. It's... For most men, I feel like they know there's a minimum expectation they have to meet. And I think for a lot of women, there's a minimum they're willing to do. Or a maximum they're willing to do. Like I always say, would you do for him what you expect him to do for you? Or vice versa? If you made 100,000 and he made 50,000, are you willing to, and if his bills could pay the majority of the stuff, are you willing to say, okay, baby, you only pay 20%, now I'll pay the other 80%? Because would you expect him to do that if the roles were reversed? I think that goes back to Kevin Samuels when he was saying we're not impressed by your income. And I think part of that is because we know that your income is not necessarily our income.
Mm-hmm.
It's not equitable. It's not like, okay, oh, you make $100,000 a year? We got $100,000 in the bank. It's like, oh, my car note is this is my part of the mortgage. I'll pay the utilities. You pay it starts. And not always, there's a lot of women that are doing more than their fair share. But I think there's a vast majority that's saying they would not do for him if the roles were reversed. And
I've heard the comment. What's yours is ours, and what's mine is mine.
Yeah, and that's what I feel like that's what I got from that. It's if you make that money, if we make $100,000 for the household and 70,000 is our bills, and you make 60, she might put in 15. We'll get there.
Here's your little 5,000.
You gonna get there, but it's not the same. As men, we know that no matter what happens, these bills have to be paid. That if something happens in the house or breaks down, it has to be paid. Now, having a woman that is willing to help get those things paid and make it there, that's great, but for the average, and every guy's not. I'm not saying all men are, and that because all men aren't good with money. All men aren't responsible. You know, most people aren't good with money. Let's say most people aren't good with money. But at the end of the day, I think there's a certain expectation that comes with it. We know we got to do a certain amount. Even if we don't make a lot of money, we know, shit, she make $100,000, I make this $40,000. I know I got to turn this $40,000 over, and hopefully she give me some money at the end of the day. You know, but you know, she don't need him.
Hey, and guys, y'all know y'all worth. Don't do that. Know your worth, King.
So I'm done with that. That was my question. This might be our last show.
Listenership plummets.
Oh, man. Hey, you got to be willing to hear opinions that you don't agree with.
Yeah. So I guess we need to get some female listeners on here. We haven't had any female listeners in a while, so that's coming up.
Not since the 3-panel?
Yeah. We had Lenny and Teresa.
Well, yeah, his
but they were together.
Right. Yeah.
But anything, fellas, go ahead and close it on out.
The only thing I got, man, is listeners, definitely appreciate you guys listening. If you want to donate to us, you can go to 3brothersnosense.com/donate and set up a donation to 3 Brothers No Sense. We would appreciate that even more than just the listens. Not too much more, but we like listens too. But if you want to donate to us, feel free to, as well as grab some merch. Don't forget 3 Brothers No Sense. It's coming summertime. We got some great t-shirts on there. So anything else that you guys want, let us know. We can get it on the website. We appreciate everything y'all do for us, man.
We got a water bottle coming too, don't we? Soon.
Yeah, they introduced it, but it's still like they charge individual shipping for them. So like I can't see putting a water bottle on there and it being like $30 after shipping.
Oh no. So, yeah, okay. Yeah. That's another thing too. Our merch is like, I mean, we have you guys in mind when we price that merch. Like, so just want to echo what Rozzy said. Also last week, I think I brought up Allen versus Pharaoh documentary on HBO Max. I just finished it. And just real quick, a few things. Hollywood is trash. And on top of that, they really help on the political side. They give credibility to people that say both sides are bad. Because when you look at how Hollywood caped up for Woody Allen, defended him, ignored, not just the allegations, but the flat out evidence that was out there at the time. And they just ignored it. And I'm sure similar instance with Harvey Weinstein as well. But then they turn around and want to lead the charge against Trump because he says on tape that he grabs. It's like, yeah, Trump was bad, but you guys have no moral authority in this because you're trash. And that documentary was just so eye-opening, and I just encourage everybody to watch it. And my other disappointment in the documentary is that I know it was mostly about Dylan Farrow. That's the daughter that he allegedly sexually assaulted. Have to say allegedly because he was never found guilty. We don't want to get 3 Brothers No Sense in any type of trouble. But I know it was about her, but I still wish they had found a way to give Tarana Burke her flowers, because they mentioned the whole Me Too movement. And if you were just watching the documentary, you would think the Me Too movement, like many people do, think it started in Hollywood. It did not start in Hollywood. Tarana Burke was using that term since 2006. It started with her. She started the Me Too movement. They picked it up, popularized it, like so many white elite people do. But it would have been nice if they had mentioned her, had her on there, and just talk about and add to the frustration that women go through when they're taking on powerful people. Like Dylan Farrow was literally told by people as close as her brother, who's a journalist for the New York Times, look, just shut up about this. It was a long time ago. Can you just get over it? And it wasn't until he literally read the court documents and the evidence that he was like, damn, and I'm your brother, and that's messed up. And he's the one that got the ball rolling on people believing her because he published an article in New York Times. So good documentary. But like I say, those are my two complaints from it, and it's a good watch. So check it out.
All right. First and foremost, I'll check it out. I want to say we haven't mentioned these guys in a while. Go check out some of our other podcasts that we listen to. The Bruh's Bookshelf, Politically Entertaining, of course. Buff, when was your last show? When do you guys go catch up on some of these shows?
Last show a few weeks ago. We actually should be recording this week, and we may, fingers crossed, have a former senator on there, Heidi Heitkamp from North Dakota. And because she's a former senator, we may be able to get answers out of her that we can't get out of current senators like Langford and Tim Scott. So should be interesting.
Oh, don't forget Wooisms, Off Safety podcast, Truth Be Told Sports podcast. Definitely.
Okay. A Beautiful Paradox and
Film Noir
Files. Forgetting one. I can't think of what it is right now. So, but no, go check those out. Make sure you do that. And just keep listening to us, man. We really appreciate it. We love hearing your feedback. You know what to do. Listen, like, share, subscribe, comment, donate, and listen again. Talk to you next week.